What is up, everybody? I am here at Tanner's 87th and Flum in Lenexa with Albi Luciani
Good job, Court.
from CaptiView. And if you've like gone to the bathroom here in Kansas City and you've seen a screen right in front of you and you're like, oh, there's like lots of stuff going on around the community here, you might be seeing Albi. So Albi, tell us about CaptiView and how you got this idea.
Yeah, thanks, Court. So it's funny that she lives in the bathroom, but this is my girlfriend, Billy the Billboard. And long story short, I've been in small business advertising for a long time. And one of the things that's happened in the last 6 or 7 years is the algorithms have gotten really, really crowded. And what that really looks like is they have to continue to grow ad revenue on the tech platforms like Meta and Alphabet. And so more people are spending more money to go to essentially a stagnant audience. And if you've been advertising for some period of time on those platforms, you notice a difference now in 2025 than what it was like in 2018, 2019. And so we thought, okay, the people who are hurt by those problems are the word of mouth and referral business, and that is who we built CaptiView for. We wanted to take Instagram and get rid of algorithms and just put it in places like Tanner's, like Johnny's, like Minsky's, like where people in the community are out spending money and where those word of mouth and referral business can really talk to their ideal audience. All that clear as mud?
Very clear. So, explain to us how it works here. So you've got a top part here and a bottom part. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it really works because our venue partners are amazing. Every single one of my venues is somebody who has raised their hand and said they are good opening up their spot to other small businesses. And so the venue actually gets this top part. This is a demo board here because I didn't want to be partial. I do want to give a shout out to Cassie for letting us use this space, but I didn't want to just show Tanner's here. This top part allows the venue to rotate out up to 12 messages that they want. You know, happy hours coming up, Taco Tuesdays, we have a band next week, all the cool stuff that Court does, which is, side note, if you're one of my venues watching this and you have not heard about what Court is doing, I highly recommend you talk to him, and I'm happy to make a connection. But they get this top real estate, and then this bottom real estate is what belongs to the general public. And so the general public will log into our software, and they will type in addresses and radius, and they will be able to decide where they want to run their message, how long, on their terms. Now, of course, the venue gets to decide who plays in their space. You know, obviously one restaurant doesn't want a competitive restaurant in there, but it's actually a lot more fluid than that. We let the actual venues have as many users in their code as they want, and they can block out different things that they don't like. You know, maybe you own the restaurant, but your significant other's a realtor and you don't want her competitors here. You set up in CaptiView so a realtor can't pick your venue. There's really just a handful of spots in the loop, and so the venues control who plays where. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's a really interesting way of targeting people, is what you're saying. So let's back this up. So an advertiser, a local business owner, and I see you have like plumbing and heating. You have, I think, like workout, hot works. So those places would come to you and they would say, hey, I want to advertise in this geographic region. What screens do you have? How does that work?
Kind of. Great question. So we are on a mission right now to show everybody the software. The truth is, it's not like something that folks have seen before. Like, we literally made it up. But it's not our first foray into this. I've been in this space a long time. I was one of the guys behind a lot of neighborhood magazine models across the country. My partners were, they've run over 9 figures of Facebook ads in their career. They've had one of the largest and oldest digital agencies in Missouri. And we just identified the word of mouth and referral business specifically, which is those folks like the plumbing companies, like the landscapers, like the realtors that are defined by 3 certain problems. You have a lot of competitors in the metro. You do not have the single largest budget where if you are in an online auction, you can't permanently win, and you have a need to target by income and geography. Every decision tree and the process of creating the software was to solve those three things, which we thought were hard for folks to get online and were hard for folks to get with community models. Essentially, what we're doing is we're mixing the pros of print, which is targeting, with the pros of social media, which is content flexibility and storytelling, and we're getting rid of the parts that folks think are tough. In the print world, it's expense. In the digital world, it's algorithm games and not knowing where that thing's going. And so we just made a Frankenstein to work that way. The way folks sign up is I show them the software, they understand how it works, and then they use it on their terms. Because we are the actual platform, there is no like, I need to do X or Y. Like, you pick a start date, you pick an end date. I give folks discounts on term primarily because if you're going to raise your hand and say, hey, I want the screens in Overland Park, I don't want to resell that inventory. I'd rather go build it in another community. And so it really is, here's how the software works, and then people sign up for what they want, when they want, the way they want. I'm just on a mission to show as many folks this software as possible.
Very cool. So we're here in Kansas City, and you've got, this is your primary focus right now. What if I signed up? If I'm a let's say I'm a landscaper, I signed up. How often would my ads be seen? Where would they be seen? By whom? What kind of data do you have?
Great question. So the way it actually works is people sign up for a certain amount of screen days. And so we made the system where you rotate into a screen for a full 24-hour period. And so someone will say to me, hey, I want to spend X a day. Maybe it's $10 a day, maybe it's $20, maybe it's $150, maybe it's $275, whatever that is, that trickles down to a certain amount of screen days in your code. And then you actually decide how often you loop. A lot of my customers have variable decision-making infrastructure on their consumer side. And so if you're selling something that's a quicker decision, a lot of times folks will want to take their credits and spread it out wide in a wider area and repeat less often in the same venue. If you have something that is a longer sales cycle and you want to be top of mind and surround this neighborhood, a lot of times folks will make a more narrow area and repeat and retarget the same audience. It doesn't matter to us how you buy. We built the platform on flexibility on purpose because we saw a need for people to be able to make those decisions. Now, in each individual screen day, what's really happening is the loop is fixed at 90 seconds. And unlike a lot of digital models like an Angie's List or a Google or a Nextdoor, whatever, we are not selling a spot and then keeping it for sale and auctioning it. Our software is live, so if someone blocks all the spots in Miss Tanner's and someone else is looking in the software, this Tanner's isn't available. And so whoever signs up, it's first come, first serve, but you all get to be able to be there as long as you want at the price point we agree on. There is no variable pricing later. And so really when a screen disappears is when the whole ad loop is full, which is 90 seconds. So if you're the last person to pick a machine, then that is the longest amount of time from when your ad plays till it plays again. That's a minute and a half or 960 times every 24 hours. On average, that costs folks on my network about $1.10. So it's pretty cool that way.
Very cool. So what about the restaurant? So the restaurant, or I guess, is it mostly restaurants or, people you work with, they get a screen, they get to run. Talk to us about what the benefits to the restaurant are.
Yeah, so first of all, the primarily restaurant thing. So yes, a large percentage of our venues are in the restaurant category. Not all of them. But what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a venue is I'm looking for a place where I can tell an advertiser, okay, hundreds of people come in here every day. They have to stand next to these screens. That's where the bathroom jokes come from, right? And those people are in that venue because they're out spending money. Those are the three things that my advertisers are looking for and why I pick the venues I pick. The truth is that math problems on the large tech platforms, like that's really entering the public lexicon now. Like people are starting to talk about it. And what you're going to see is a lot of folks are going to do, at its core, this is called the out-of-home segment in advertising. And a lot of folks will build their own out-of-home networks, and they'll all function differently. Like Hy-Vee's doing one now, right? If I was Mars Candy or, Kellogg's or Hershey's, like I want to buy right next to that candy bar. If I'm an HVAC contractor, there is a large percentage of folks that are in that grocery store that, might not be homeowners, might not, even if they are, have the ability to call me for a service call right now. Like that kind of stuff for my customer, if I can tell them, hey, these folks went out to dinner on Tuesday because they were bored, it solves their problem. As you see other networks build, when you're deciding like which one is for me, ask the platform builder, what are the pros and cons of your network? There isn't a universally this type of advertising is better than that. It's do the way the model functions, its strengths and its weaknesses, do it align with your needs? And ours are 3 very specific problems for a very specific advertiser. And everything about the network starts with that concept and is built around it. Hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. So you're building out a really cool network here. What are your hopes for this company? What are your hopes? Where do you see this going?
So I am a big fan of God works in mysterious ways, and in every facet of my life, when I have said, Albi's going here, God has turned around and told me where he wants me to go. What I know is I want to continue to stay disciplined to listening to the needs of the word of mouth and referral business. And what is on my vision board, what is on my utopia is we're going to put this network up and people are going to take ownership of it. I mean, once you own this digital real estate, you can pull out your phone and put a happy birthday message to your wife up there. Like, you can take your referral partner to lunch and have their Instagram post up and be like, that's my network, let's team up and get a code. I want people to use it, and I want people to bless the community. In some other cities where the networks are a little more developed, we've already started playing some of those community games, and folks love it. When you can give a reason for the general population to choose a locally owned venue like a Tanner's or a Johnny's instead of a Hooters or a Twin Peaks, and by the same token, you can give that reason while helping another business, that's utopia. What we're really doing is we're taking Sally Realtor's audience and pooling it with Johnny Venue's owner's audience and creating what I call small businesses against the world.
It's awesome. Small business against the world. Albi, this was awesome. I appreciate you so much. CaptiView, we'll drop a link below. Go check them out. Appreciate it, Albi. We will talk to you all soon.
Let me show off Billy.
All right. Later on.